Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Being in the present moment, or when you shouldn't pay attention to what's actually happening in your present moment. There's been a question around this, and I think it's kind of an interesting concept and topic, and sort of a distinction that I think is important to make. The whole concept of spiritually living in the present moment versus when we've got things happening in our lives that we don't like. Maybe there's a third party, maybe someone's not with us currently, maybe there's a job or a promotion that we're trying to get that we currently don't have, maybe there's some person that seems like they're in the running for it. These are things I'm talking about that are happening in your present reality that I think should be ignored versus things that are in our present that we need to be paying attention to. And so the question that was asked to me was, how do you know what's the difference? How do you know when to do what? How do you know when you're not supposed to think about something and when you're supposed to be in the present? Blah, blah, blah. That was a great question. So to me, being in the present moment, just try to cover the bases. Being present means this is the only place where you can receive any sort of information, where you're going to get your magic, where the little awesome synchronicities and signs and symbols and all that stuff are going to show up, will be in your present moment, be in your now. Your now is where you're going to experience all of these wonderful experiences. You don't experience anything in the past. You don't experience anything in the future. You only experience right now along the way. Now, a lot of us may spend some time in the past. Maybe we're bummed about a certain fight that happened. Maybe we broke up with somebody and we're remembering how it used to be. Maybe there was a time when maybe intimacy was better and now it's not so good. Again, it's one of those things where we're spending time in a place that's not here and now. And on top of that, it's messing with our energy usually because we're thinking about something that's no longer in existence. The past doesn't exist anymore. In fact, the past can't exist anymore. You can create aspects of the now or the future, if you will, that are like the past maybe, but they will never be the past. Everything changes. I mean, even in a relationship, how it was when you first met versus where you're at as a couple 10 years later, yeah, there's some differences, but the love has changed. The relationships changed. The understanding of one another has changed. Yeah, maybe it's not like, doing crazy stuff in the elevator when nobody's around, right? Like, those crazy moments when we were earlier in the relationship, right? But it's getting to that place where it's actually evolved and become more. So there are people that are like, why can't it be like it was? And it's because things change, things evolve, they grow, they become adults. Why don't children stay the way they were when they were cute, right? And then they grow up and become like monsters. It's like, what happened? Well, I love it when you were cute and cuddly and you used to love me and you just always told me, I love you, Daddy. Now you just want money. What the hell? Right? It's those kinds of things. So a lot of the times we're focused on parts that don't exist anymore, and really, right now is where it's at. Your relationship with your sons, right now, right? Your relationship with this specific person is right now, is where it's at. It's right now. So don't be off in the past, and conversely, you don't want to be off in the future. You don't want to be imagining the future. You don't want to be manifesting the future. It's not really how you want to think about it so much anyway. You are definitely going to experience things in the future, and what you're doing today is going to create your tomorrow. So it's still happening in the now. That's the important part. And I will make the distinction here in a second, but you don't want to be like imagining a future. No. You want to imagine like it's right now. You do it like it's now. You make it real like it's now in your mind. When you're imagining being with your specific person, it's now that they're in front of you and you're dancing. Even if you're imagining your wedding, which obviously isn't going to happen today. I know that. But you still imagine it in the now sense. You imagine it like you're there, like you're witnessing it. You're using all of your senses. You're trying to smell it. You're experiencing this moment outside of time. Outside of time. It's right now. You're making it right now. You're creating it right now. You're actually experiencing it right now. So there's a power to that. And that's how you change your tomorrow, is by that thing you're doing right now. Now, one of the other aspects that's really important when it comes to this whole right now stuff is whether or not we're focused on something right now that's maybe not helping the direction we're trying to go. Now, this is where I think it's important to sometimes not pay attention to things. Sometimes your right now should be focused in other places. And I think that's the difference is Right now is where you're present, it's where you're experiencing everything, it's where your whole life can change in that blink of an eye, and it's always going to be in the right now. But the idea of I thought there was a bug. The idea of changing a situation one of the most important things about manifesting is it's a focus-based issue. It's a focus-based universe. So again, the imagery, you do all that stuff, and you got this focus, and that's what you're manifesting is the focus. When it comes to things in our life that are currently happening, third parties are probably one of the most common ones I hear about. Maybe someone's got your position right now and you don't want them to. Maybe the person you want to be with is currently in a relationship. That's still third party, but whatever. There's some sort of situation maybe that's going on right now that you don't like. And if you keep looking at it and keep noticing it and keep paying attention to it, you continue that same pattern, that same behavior. You give it power. You give it energy. So if it's a third party, for example, and you keep noticing them, you keep thinking about them, you keep talking about them, you keep telling your friends how this other person's so involved and how they're messing with everything, you keep it alive. That would be one of those situations where you want to stop talking about it. You want to stop thinking about it. You want to stop focusing your right now energy on it because you're creating more of it for your tomorrow. Another example, good one. Sometimes people, when they're a little overweight or a lot overweight or whatever, they might look in the mirror and they'll be like, oh my God, you're overweight. You're so overweight. You're overweight. You really need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I got to start losing weight. I got to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I still got to lose weight. And we realize that, wow, we don't lose weight. We seem to keep it on. In fact, I keep seeming like I'm gaining weight because I keep trying to lose weight and it's not really happening. And really what it is you don't focus on the thing that you're trying to change. You focus on what this new behavior or change would be. So maybe in the case of losing weight, if it's permitted by your health, maybe an exercise program, right? Maybe you learn more about dieting your food, like maybe what kinds of foods are better for me. Maybe I've been using certain ingredients a lot that aren't healthy. Maybe I eat some very high saturated fat type foods, right? Whatever, right? There's a lot of different angles that you can start to go towards that will get you towards the weight loss rather than focusing on the fact that I am fat, I need to lose weight. No, focus on what it is that losing weight is. Like, what's your lifestyle now that you're going to start trimming down? What's the lifestyle change or thing? Because it's really going to change. So what is it that you're going to do that's going to actually start to help this other situation? When it comes to, like, again, the third party, you're manifesting this reality where that third party doesn't exist. That third party can't exist, right? Because they're going to be with you. So if they're going to be with you, well, they can't stay with the person they're currently with. So don't worry about that. Like, who cares? What they're doing right now doesn't matter. This reality that I keep imagining or seeing and believing for sure is going to happen. And for that to happen, this other thing and a bunch of other things need to occur. It's just how manifestations work. No manifestation doesn't require steps along the way. Yes, all of them do. All of them do, right? Certain things have to happen. That's how manifestations occur. And you just kind of pay attention to what's going on in your right now. And you react, act, you notice, you're like, oh my God, this thing just happened. Here it is. Wow, this is so cool. So again, you're being present and you're still imagining what it is that you would like. You're not focused on the thing that you don't like. That's one of the biggest things I hear people do that I know is causing them harm in their manifestations, in their relationships, and all these things. Is the fact that they keep focusing on the negativity. They keep focusing on the thing that sucks, hoping to change that. And that's not how you go about changing things like that. You focus on what you would like to experience. You focus on how you would like it to be. And that is what you will create for your tomorrow. Now, maybe one last example, and this is a show I want to do just in general all on its own, but it's something I kind of thought about a lot. And it's like I've talked a lot about like when people talk about healing, right? And healing is kind of a funny, another concept that's very similar. The idea of healing implies just by its very usage that there's something wrong. So in order to heal something, it needs to be wrong. And to do a healing to someone, you're essentially focusing on that wrongness and trying to make it right. When in reality, You want to focus on what it would be like if I was completely healthy. Maybe if you just got a bad cold or a flu, well, I'd be outside, I'd be working, I'd maybe be out in the daylight, I'd maybe jogging again, maybe whatever your thing is. But instead of trying to heal your cold, you can't. Can't heal your cold. You can't because you're focused on the cold. You healed your you heal your cold by focusing on where you'd like to go or how you would like to be. What is healthy? That's what I imagine my life would be like. So that is, again, it's kind of a funny thing. It's like so many of us want to try to manifest something away when the reality is you just manifest what it is you want. You don't manifest anything away. You don't manifest something into oblivion. You manifest into your reality what it is you'd like to experience. Paying attention to your present, obviously, is where that's going to happen. Making sure we don't stray off in the future and the past is definitely not going to be helpful. So you want to keep that in mind. But if there is something that's happening in your present moment, don't pay it no never mind, as they would say. Don't pay attention to it. And pay attention instead to what you would like to do and where you would like to be. And that will become your experience. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense. It's Dan Radio Style.